Metro TV systems can count down 5, 4, 3, 2.
My name is Senes Quentin. Thank you for joining us. I'm doing this with Leonard Nikwe. We are trying to get as many responses and reactions as possible to the Black Stars' incredible win over Algeria in the second group game. What that does to the team going forward. Remember, there's a last group game against South Africa, and for the Ghana team, the tournament has just begun. We'll get first the head of the management team to speak to us. George Afriyie has progressed from managing the under-20 team, the Black Satellites, to winning bronze at the world level, to taking charge of the Black Stars team. He's the chairman of the management committee. George, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Always, always, always. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It looks like last night you slept a bit more.
Maybe
it was smoother, the sleep.
For the first time in so many weeks, I had about 4 or 5 hours sleep.
4 or 5 hours?
Yes, 4 or 5 hours. I went to bed around 1 a.m. and woke up by 6 o'clock.
What made that possible? Because I know the last few weeks sleep has been very difficult. So how come you had a good sleep last night?
Well, I had a lot of messages coming in congratulating us, and there were so many encouraging words coming from friends, family. I believe that gave me some level. I felt like, oh, now at least we are on course, and so that's why I was able to sleep.
As head of the management team, you are the leader of this Black Stars team. I'm sure you're feeling the pressure more than anybody.
Oh yes, but I've grown to love the pressure also. I mean, this job definitely comes with pressure. I mean, it's the #1 sporting brand in our country, football, and the Black Stars obviously is the best supporting team or the best followed sports in our country. And so once you assume the position of the chairman of the management committee, then you should know the responsibilities that comes with it. So as for pressure, yes, before you accept to take the position, you need to be aware of the pressure that is associated with this job. And so I'm aware of it and I'm dealing with it.
How are you coping in this new role? Yes, you've been head of management team of a national team before, like the under-20 side. You led all the way to bronze in the World Cup just over a year ago in 2013 June or so. How are you coping with this new role, knowing that the Black Stars team is the hottest job anybody will get, maybe to a large extent, on the African continent?
I think that what most people don't know is that I've been around for some time. I'm an old school guy, don't forget. I was part of the under-23 team chaired by Randy Abbey. I was part of the management team of the under-23. I was part of the Chan team that failed woefully in Sudan. In fact, I was the vice chairman by then. I was also the chairman for the under-20. I was part of the team that went to Rwanda to win the first African Youth Championship before I assumed the position of the chairman of the under-20 for the African edition and then the world edition. And so when it comes to the national team, and I've been following the Black Stars, and so it is not like it was just one day that I got a promotion. I've taken my time, I bid my time, and I've gone through the ranks and I understand them. Look, if you take, for instance, the under-23, which was chaired by Randy at the time, we have players of Asamoah Gyan and co all being part of, and what most people don't know, it's also in football management, it's also about how you relate to players. And the current crop of players, let me limit myself to even the players in camp today, right from Asamoah Gyan to the DIU. These are players that I saw them, yes, these are players that I saw them growing up. Don't forget I'm part of the Liberty family, so obviously with Asamoah, you know how the relationship goes. When it comes to the day, me and Pele have a very good relationship. I've enjoyed. In fact, the Nania Park is about less than 5, let's say maximum 7 kilometers away from my house. And so these are players that I saw them. Jordan, many people don't even know that they play a second division match in Ghana. People don't even believe. And while I saw the day you playing against Chicago, Alaji Chicago's team, Alaji Chicago at Alajo, I watched when Abedi Pele was the coach. And so it is something I've been doing for so many years, but it's just that because we don't come out to say these things, people think that, oh, the guy just woke up one day and he's just been out. No. Most of the young players you see here today, of course, a lot of people are asking questions that were from Danny Amate. But I'm surprised because Danny Amate was part of the under 20 team that went to South Africa to play 8-nation tournament: Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Argentina, Brazil, South Africa. Who are the players? Baba Rahman, Danny Amate, Lawrence Lati, and Seydou Salifou and Co. Frank Savu-Jemfi. These were the players that were used. And so for me, I've known Danny Amate for so many years. Don't forget, even when we went to the African Youth Championship, we rode to Joe Garden in Sweden by then for the release of Danny Amate, and the team refused. We wrote, even when we were going to the World Under 20 Championship in Turkey, we wrote for the release of Danny Amate, and the team refused. So it's not like I know him for a long time, but maybe many of people are seeing him for the first time, and I've worked with him before.
Let's talk about the manner we got that victory against Algeria. At some point, a lot of people settled for a draw. People started doing the calculations that a draw is not exactly bad. Ghana could capitalize on a better result against South Africa and maybe pull through the group. Then that quality player, that man who often will carry Ghana on his shoulders, who often makes the difference, the highest scorer in the history of Ghana's football, and the man who continues to make history all the time, got us a goal out of nothing. Describe to me how you felt at the time Asamoah Gyan did the sprint, to poke the ball with his left foot and eventually buried it with his right foot. What was the feeling like?
And it's maybe in future, maybe some of us will branch from administration to coaching, because I'm not saying this today, but I wish people will go back. In 2008, I had an interview with PJ Mose. He was then with Hot FM. When Asamoah was threatening to boycott the team and leave after he had some near missed chances at the Afcon, I went on radio and said that we have to encourage him. He's one of the best strikers we have, and he's one of the best players we have in the team. Instead of trying to demoralize him by words of insult and all, it is better for us to encourage him. As a footballer, definitely he will make mistakes. But as a young player, we need to encourage him. In 2008, and I made it clear that he's one of our best players. And that he's still on the learning curve and that we should encourage him. That was 7 years ago. Because I saw Asamoah Gyan right from the days of Liberty Professionals. He's more or less a sprinter. He's fast. And so once you get the ball to him, those days you see him running around the flanks, especially from the right wing of Liberty Professionals, and you give the ball to him, he'll race forward. And so watching the game, what was going through my mind is, look, Baby is the type that will make the magic for you. And so try and get the ball to him. Get the ball to him. I mean, he's a good striker. He knows how to score goals. If he doesn't get the ball, how is he going to score? And in this modern game, it is difficult for a player of his caliber to come all the way back to pick the ball and go and put it in the net. It's not easy. Nobody will allow you. You need to get the ball to him. So once you get the ball to him, and then he's good in the air too. So I was expecting that we'll be getting the crosses from the flanks, from the fullbacks. Because you see, you have two players in the team who uses their head very well. Dede Ayew, Asamoah Gyan. Andre in the air, fantastic. Within the 18-yard, if you get the ball to Andre, he will also make good use of it. So if you don't release the ball to the people who can plant the ball in the net, then it becomes very difficult. You see, so these are the things that I believe that the technical teams need to be working on. You need to know the strength of your players. You need to know what each player can do. It is very important. I believe that Coach Avram Grant is still learning. He will know everything about his players, and he will know how to use them very well. At least for once, we are seeing how the team shaping. Ernest, if I ask you, when was the last time Ghana played a match without conceding a goal? First time in so many months. First time in so many months. Even when we were winning, we were conceding. But at least for the first time in so many months, we've played a match without conceding a goal, which means it's very refreshing and very good news. Let's hope that we'll build upon it and we'll be able to scale through.
Have you been impressed with Avram's work? He had struggles in his first game. Are you okay with it? You think there's more room to improve?
Yes, you've put it right. I think that there's more room for him to improve. It's not been bad. I think that he's a listening coach. He's working very well. We are coping very well. He's not a difficult person, trust me. For the few months that I've known him, he's not a difficult coach. And he understands that he has come to the job as a new person and that he needs time to at least know every player. And we have to help him. I believe that the technical team of Masue Kunedu and Professor Minta should be able to assist him to understand each of our players so that he'll be able to deploy them very well.
What does the victory against Algeria, the manner in which it came, what does it do to our campaign in Equatorial Guinea 2015?
It has kept us in the competition. The victory against Algeria has kept us in the competition. Trust me, anything other than this victory, we should be packing now.
How does that galvanize us as a team? Because if you win in this manner, then you get to the moon and you are encouraged that anything is possible.
You know, at our last training 2 days ago, I realized that the boys were a bit slow. Not slow as in, but their demeanor was a bit worrying. And so I quickly signaled the captain, and we started our Jamaican, shake the whole place, and that mood continued. And I believe that what happened right from the dressing room yesterday and from this morning and it's going to continue. We need the spirit is back. The wind has just galvanized them into a different level, and let's just hope that we'll maintain this momentum and be able to put the same performance, even above, we play above what we did yesterday and be able to get to the quarterfinals.
Okay, so we continue to bring you compelling content from the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations Equatorial Guinea 2015. It's the Diaries team. My name is Ernest Akenteng. I'm doing this with Leonard Nikwe. African football is always very difficult. That's without a doubt. It's a collection of the best from the African continent coming together to compete at the highest level, so that you see the teams play very tight games. You see them play very difficult games, and it's not easy. It's not easy like that. So already we have seen a number of goalless drawn games in the tournament. High quality football, very competitive, and that's how African football is. Who is the technical director of the Ghana Football Association, doubles as a technical committee member of CAF, and there you can see interesting shots of the players. And Jamie is the physical trainer of the team, and he's having a bit of tussle with some of the players. It's interesting, but we'll come. Okay, is the head of one of our own, Francis Akenteng, is the technical director of the Ghana Football Association, a member of the technical committee of CAF. But here in Mongomo, which is hosting the group of death, Francis Akenteng is in charge as a member of CAF's technical study committee. So he's a committee member in charge of this area, and he's going to be speaking to us about the standard of the game we have seen in the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations Equatorial Guinea 2015. Coach, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Mr. Ernest.
Coach, we've seen top-level football, quality football from the 4 teams in Group C, and also across the entire tournament. You look at Group A, Group D, and Group B. Quality football we are seeing, extremely competitive. How would you describe the technical level you have seen in this tournament?
Well, it's just as you have said, it's wonderful. And I think African football is growing. And we need to commend CAF for that aspect. And probably because CAF has also been taken to some developmental programs, it really has been helping. And then fortunately for us too, because of our collaboration with the other confederations, talking about the 6 confederation, Africa is one. I think there's a very good cooperation, so much so that our players are free to play anywhere in the world. And I think that has also accounted a lot, because in terms of facilities and equipment, I think Africa, some of the countries will lack. But our players having the opportunities to play in these various confederations, I think it has bettered our football, and hence the level of technicalism that you are seeing in this very tournament. You
speak to new coaches who come to Africa from Europe or other parts of the world. It's John Boy.
We are you know, he was my player. Okay. I started him in the Heart of Lions. Okay. With he played together with Jerry Akamenko. Okay. So they were in my back, the central back four. Yes, and so we had something. We asked him. Sometimes he will come to me, coach, I need some. I said, we asked him. In future, when you become a big player, will you be remembering me? And that is what is happening.
Okay, interesting. Now, I'm to play from Europe. They say African football is so competitive. There are no easy teams on the continent. How good is this for our football?
No, I think it's good. We were even, now, when we were talking about the countries that have qualified, we never mentioned Equatorial Guinea. Yeah. But look at the sort of football that they are playing. They
have not lost in too much.
Yes, it's wonderful. So that is how it is. And the saying that there is no minnow in soccer, I think has lived up to expectation. And we need to take to that. And that calls for more development in our game. We don't have to sit down. We don't have to look only at the Black Stars. We have to start right from the grassroots. And once you're able to develop our grassroots program, it follows. You move on, we have shadow teams for the under 17, and then gradually you have a shadow team for the even the under 17 is the youth. That's starting from the grassroots, from 6 to 9, 6 to 12 can be the grassroots. Then between 12 and then 17, you have a shadow national team, let's say 13, 14, 15, so that they can now flash into the under 17, and then from there it develops. So that is why FIFA, CAF, they are all talking about this pyramid. And if we talk about pyramid, then we are talking about grassroots, then competition, and then to the national teams. And through the national teams, you get to the senior national team. And it's so important. And CAF, FIFA, they spend a lot of money at the grassroots level, because it is there that you need to catch them young, and it is there that you need to do a lot of development, and it is there that even in educational purpose, you know that we say we have golden age of learning. It is also there, especially from age 9 and onwards. You are making a headway to getting a very good national team. Hence the importance of all this.
Okay. Now, Coach, we have talked a lot about African football. Let's talk about the Black Stars team. First of all, how far they can go in this tournament. Also, look at the coach, Avram Grant. Have you been impressed with his work? Because, after all, you are the technical director of the FA.
Yes. But, like I've always been saying, like I've always been saying, there is a very big difference between the post of the technical director and then the coach, the head coach of the senior national team. He is for results, and the technical director is for development. At times, when people want to bring our heads together like that, I think it's it doesn't speak well. Though at times we can stand in, you can just stand in for the head coach of the senior national team, but FIFA allows that up to about 3 weeks. When you can hold forth for the senior national for the coach of the senior national team, that is when he's not around. But now look at Zambia, my colleague. I think he did that for some few weeks, and then the president and the executive committee, they saw in him that yes, the man could handle the position very well. So they allowed him, and the current coach of the side was, or even is, the technical director of Zambian Football Association. But I wouldn't want to get into that. Now we have spent a lot of money in getting somebody like Abraham Grant here, and he's been contracted to do the work. Why do I have to go in and then be telling him do this, do that? Just like you've asked somebody to meet you in Kumasi, and then you are the same person telling him you have to pass through Kufuri or pass through Nsawam or where. You just have to allow the person himself. If he needs you and he calls you that, oh, please, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, then that is different. But if he hasn't called you, there's no need even doubling yourself into that. Exactly.
But the feeling often is, as technical director, you have the person works under you, some sort. The person should report to you. You should have oversight responsibility of what the head coach does. Well,
that is how it's supposed to be anyway, because at the end of the day, after all these matches, he has to send in his report, technical report. And technical report, it is not the executive committee that will look at it. It has to be the technical director together with the technical and development committee. And that is why we have Samade ahead of the, as now, as the head of the technical committee. So you look at it, but when you are running the office, the technical director is the one running the directorate. So you look at it, when matter of these natures are referred to you, you look at it, and then you also, if you have to seek the consent of the technical committee, you do that. And then you advise the executive committee, and then they will come out with it. But here, you have seen me always with the president and then the chairman of the management committee of the Black Stars, where we've been doing some tete-a-tete, where we think they have to go in and then sit down with the coach. We talk about it, and then they go and do that. And I think it's been working so well. So far, so good. And you should also know that I'm not supposed to be directly involved in the activities that they do here, because it was exactly CAF brought me here to take care of the whole group. Exactly. So anything that I do, it has a limit.
You are making a lot of money from CAF. To be responsible for the whole city comes with big bucks. But is Avram impressing you?
Please, as for the money problem, you have to calm down a little bit. Yes,
that was just by the way. But is he impressing you?
What can I say now? I have not had enough time to be watching him from his training sessions. But so far, so good. Though we had a very poor outing in the first match, it always takes a good coach to be able to come out in such situations, to be able to make your team play well in the second one.
And did his changes impress you in the second match?
Yes.
Do you think he made the changes you expected?
Yes, not everything, but at least he did so well. And why I think I'm a bit happy also with him is that there were certain situations that he listened. And a listening coach is always
the best.
Exactly.
George Afriyie says the coach listens. He has a lot more to improve. Do you think so?
Yes, I think so. In fact, I share with George, and like I told you at first, we've all been meeting before everything. Yeah, so we also do talk, and the little things that I also see, I share with them, and then we discuss, we make a lot of discussion, and then at the end of the day we come to a compromise, and then all our suggestions are taken aboard. And I think so far so good. It hasn't been bad at all.
Coach, just before we let you go, you've seen the technical levels of all the 16 teams in this tournament. You have the technical eye. So even from now, you could be predicting which teams will go very far in this tournament and which teams possibly could play in the final. Any idea? Is Ghana one of those teams that will go far in this tournament? And which team are we looking at winning the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations finals? The finals, the tournament.
Ernest, this is a very difficult question, and added to that, I think it's very, very sensitive, and I would like to run away from that.
No, but is Ghana one of the teams that you see technically as one that could go far in this tournament?
Yes, like we know Ghana participating in tournaments, even the previous tournaments. They start slowly, and then gradually they get into it. And I think that is what has happened. But I always advise against that, because one day you want to start slowly and then you will not be able to get up again. So we just have to, if that has been our decision, we need to change it. But the way I've seen them, as we saw in the first match and then what we've seen in the second match, I believe if we continue like that, we'll be able to make it. But it's not going to be easy. Remember, South Africa is one. In fact, to be very honest, I will tell you that South Africa has played better in this tournament, in this group, except that their finishing has been very woeful. If they were to work on their finishing, I think it would be wonderful. So we don't because we have won our match against Algeria. We don't have to just let things go by and say that, South Africa, they've lost one match and they've played one draw game and that we are going to run over them. No, we have to be very, very serious. But I believe that if we're able to beat South Africa, then definitely Ghana is going to go very far.
Okay, and I've also heard that this is a very difficult group, just like Group D. So if Ghana can make it out of this group, we should be able to go all the way.
No, it's not going to be like that. Group D is also very difficult. From here, we are going to make Group D. And I don't think it is.
Could be Guinea,
yeah, it could be exactly. And that is why there is a need for us to be scouting their games and then probably be planning ahead. But I believe Ghana, when we meet the best, we are always above that. And I think we'll be able to go that far.
Okay. Is it true that the winner of this Afcon could come from Group C or D? Because it looks like that's where the most difficult teams are. So if any team could get out of the 8, then that team should be too good, should have too much quality, with all due respect for the teams in Group A and B.
Well, if history is beckoning, then probably we need to talk about the Group C, because most of the times the countries that get into that group have been winning the Afcon. And not quite long ago, we saw Nigeria coming up from Group C to win the tournament or the championship. So it's possible. It's possible. People were tagging Algeria. Now we look at Algeria. I think they have just been overrated. Yes, I think they have been overrated. But it is not bad. It is not bad. You look at the position they gave to us yesterday, and how they also played against. They came back after starting slowly against South Africa. So probably they are now like the Ghanaian this thing now. Gradually they are also coming up. So we cannot write off Algeria and even South Africa. You see, the group is open. Honestly, the group is still open. South Africa can still come out and then qualify. Senegal is playing well, but we saw them yesterday struggling. and you don't know. This is a tournament. Anything can happen. Yes, and we also need to look at players who will be having, or countries that will be having yellow cards, red cards, and then injuries. We nearly were knocked out because of injury to or sickness to Asamoah, and then this is our number 5 boy. Yes, so anything can happen. We only have to pray to Almighty God to give us the strength, and then to also make sure that our training sessions are being taken as scheduled, so that we don't overdo things that will put us or our chances in jeopardy.
Coach, thank you very much, and wish you all the best with your duties as the CAF Technical Study Committee member in charge of Mongomo. Wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Metro TV systems check. Countdown 5, 4, 3, 2.